Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the SEC filings so you don't have to, and trust me, this one needed a serious deciphering or else you might think the company was playing financial hide and seek. Let's dive into Avalon GloboCare Corp's latest amended report, which is essentially a do-over of a previous filing to clear up some important details. Think of it like sending a corrected RSVP with more precise information. The main point here is to clarify some agreements and financial figures that were a bit fuzzy in the original report. We're seeing an update on a financial agreement and some changes to how preferred stock works. This filing itself is an amendment to a previous report, specifically an 8K, which companies use to announce major events that shareholders should know about right away. This amendment is here to fix and add information related to a securities purchase agreement and a waiver that was signed. The company is filing this amendment to correct and clarify things from their earlier report. They're making changes to item 3.02, which talks about selling shares without registering them, and item 1.01 about a contract. They are also making small wording tweaks in other items and refiling some important legal papers with the correct labels. They're also adding new information about the money owed under a note. So way back on June 4th of 2025, Avalon entered into a deal to sell shares to an investor called York Sun Investment Holding Limited. They agreed to sell about 141,000 shares for $500,000, which works out to 3.53 cents per share. And they expected to close this deal very quickly, but that's not all. The company also had a senior secured promissory note, basically a loan, for almost $2.85 million that they got back in June of 2024 from Mast Hill Fund. Now here's where things get interesting. On May 29th of 2025, they signed a waiver with this loan provider. This waiver essentially forgives some potential late fees or penalties that could have been charged because Avalon had previously issued some Series C convertible preferred stock. Now, even though they waived some penalties, the lender still gets to keep their rights to adjust the share count if the company issues more stock in the future. However, there's a catch. Any future adjustment to the share count will have a floor price of $1 per share. So even if the stock price drops lower, the conversion price related to this note can't go below $1. As of August 29th, 2025, the amount still owed on this note is about $1.2 million. This section talks about selling stock without completing the full registration process, which they are doing under a specific legal exemption. They mention that based on the amount owed on the note as of early June 2025 and projected interest that might accrue until the end of the year, the total number of shares that could be issued if the note is converted is around 2.9 million shares. Again, this is all subject to a limit where they can't issue shares that would make any single investor own more than 4.99% of the company. By August 29th, 2025, the principal balance owed on this note had indeed dropped to that 122.9 million shares. Again, this is all subject to a limit where they can't issue shares that would make any single investor own more than 4.99% of the company. By August 29th, 2025, the principal balance owed on this note had indeed dropped to that more than 4.99% of the company. By August 29th, 29 million shares. Again, this is all subject to a limit where they can't issue shares that would make any single investor own more than 4.99% of the company. By August 29th, remember that Series C convertible preferred stock we just talked about? Well, the company had originally set a rule that no single investor could own more than 19.99% of the company's stock through these preferred shares. But in an amendment filed on May 29th of 2025, they changed that rule. They lowered the ownership limit to 4.99%. This exhibit is the actual legal document showing that change. It's the Certificate of Amendment to the Series C Certificate of Designations. This confirms they officially reduced the maximum ownership allowed for any single holder of this preferred stock. This is a concise update, reiterating a key financial figure. It simply states that as of August 29th, 2025, the principal amount outstanding on that promissory note is $1,421.323. And finally, we see the signature of Luisa Ingagiola, the Chief Financial Officer, confirming all these details on August 29th, 2025. This is basically their sign-off saying, yes, this is all accurate. So what does this all mean for Avalon GloboCare Corp? Well, this amended filing shows a company actively managing its financial obligations and shareholder structure. The waiver on the loan is good news, potentially saving them from costly penalties. However, the reduction in the ownership limit for their preferred stock suggests they're trying to avoid any single large investor gaining too much control. which can sometimes signal a desire for broader distribution of ownership or perhaps a strategy to manage future dilution. The fact that they are amending previous filings indicates a commitment to transparency, even if it's to correct or clarify issues. The ongoing balance on the note, while decreasing, still represents a significant debt. The company is clearly working to restructure its financial agreements and its equity framework. From a numbers perspective, we see the principal on the note decreasing by roughly half over the period from June 2024 to August 2025, which is positive. They've also managed to secure a new investment of $500,000. However, the story here is less about massive growth figures and more about the careful navigation of existing financial commitments and corporate governance. The key takeaway is that Avalon GloboCare is in a phase of financial adjustment. They are settling debts, managing equity structures, and ensuring they comply with regulations. The main risk here would be if they can't continue to service their debt, or if the equity adjustments lead to unforeseen complications with their investor base. The opportunity lies in successfully refinancing or paying down the remaining note and executing on their business strategy with a clearer shareholder structure. In overall, Avalon GloboCare seems to be taking steps to stabilize its financial footing and streamline its corporate structure. It's a process that, while a bit complex to follow through these filings, shows a management team that is actively addressing its financial obligations. What's your take on Avalon GloboCare's financial maneuvering? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more insights into the world of business and finance presented in plain English. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community for more exclusive content and discussions. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Decode.